Hey there, good evening, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. So here we are at the halfway point of our series, which is rock musicians who thrilled us but have since passed on. This is the episode 29 of 58. Yeah, we made it halfway, and I'm still kicking. Anyways, so tonight we have two kind of lesser known people, I think. Not a lot of really well known people. Rock musicians died this year, but I do have a fairly extensive list of honorable mentions. So a lot of people died, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so the first one we're going to be doing tonight is, I'll make sure I get this right. Yep. First one we're doing tonight is Jeff Bacaro, the drummer of Toto, primarily known as the drummer from Toto, the twin brother of Steve Piccaro. Okay, so basically he played with a lot of people, but now we're going to give a bit of the vital statistics with him. He was born April the 1st. I'm going to need my glasses again. He was born April the 1st, 1954. In Hartford, Connecticut, and he died August the 5th, 1992, at the age of 38 in West Hill, California. The music of his genre was pop, rock, funk, prog, yacht rock, a lot of different types of rock music. Okay, he was primarily a drummer and a percussionist. His years active were 1971 through to his death in 1992, so about 21 years or so. He is the brother of Mike Porcaro and twin brother Steve Bacaro. Okay, he played with Toto, Steely Dan, Boss Skaggs, Michael Jackson, and the list is fairly extensive and long. He played on a lot of stuff for a lot of people. As primarily a session musician. He learned to drum initially from his father, Joe Porcaro, who gave him his first kind of lessons, and then he also took lessons from drummers Bob Zimmerty and Richie Guys, I can't even read my own damn handwriting. You think I would learn to write it so I could read it? LaForge. Okay, so he started professionally in his career playing for Sonny and Cher. He actually played for them on their tour. And then he, like I say, played with a lot of people. Steely Dan, and toured with Boss Skaggs. He did quite a bit. He had a fairly large resume, and I apologize for this shining part up here. We're going to try and block it out a bit. As I think it's got to go right here. Okay, Bear, sit there. Actually, I got the wrong side, didn't I? Okay, so let's try over here. Move this card here and put Bear here. Sorry, I lost the CD there. Anyways, that helps a bit, I hope. Anyways, He formed Toto with his brother. He was a founding member of Toto with his twin brother Steve Piccaro and Steve Lurkemer and also David Patch. So that's where that Toto started, was with those four. He developed this drum shuffle which he used, and he blended in a type of Bonham type groove, which became kind of synonymous with him a bit. His session, like I said, he was a long-time session player, playing with a lot of big-name bands and musicians. The list is like a mile long. So he's well-traveled and very experienced. So anyways, he played a lot with Toto. That was his primary band. And I think he was a pretty... Excuse me, it's getting late, and For some reason, doing these videos makes me tired at the end of the day. So anyways, he was a fairly decent drummer, pretty good, and played on a lot of their big songs, of course. Eventually, he got to the point, he was a smoker, and people say that this or that caused his life, but really I think it was the one guy explained that he had a reaction to a pesticide that killed him. That's ultimately what killed him. And so he died at a fairly young age of 38, and there you have it, Jeff Bacaro of Toto fame. Now the next guy, not as famous but still fairly well known, is Bobby Lakind. Born November 3rd, 1945, New York City. Died December 24th, 1992 at the age of 47 in Los Angeles, California. His music, of course, was rock, and he was a Congo percussion drum vocalist, pretty much. So anyways, how it started for him was a little bit different than a lot of musicians. He was a conga player who was actually a lighting roadie for the band Doobie Brothers. And at the end of every concert, he would always play the drums while he was, just got into it, right? And they noticed this, so they offered him to come as a session musician on their albums. So he joined as a bit like what they would call like a side man. He was that from about 76 till about 81. So about a 5-year period, he was kind of doing session parts on their album and touring with them and playing live with them on occasion too. Then eventually what happened is they officially allowed him to join the band in 82. Shortly thereafter they folded, and then when they came back, when they reformed, he joined them and began to play with them again, but he took ill, and this forced him to retire. They must have liked something they seen in the session in a roadie to give him a position like that, and eventually allow him to join the band. I think he was fairly well liked, but he died of colon cancer in 1992 at a fairly young age, 47. But not uncommon for colon cancer to take people at around that age, anyways. So I don't know why I chose him. There's a lot of other people I could have chose, but for some reason I liked his story. I liked the kind of that he was working and just worked his way into a position. So he was a working musician. He worked his way into a position with a good band, and they eventually allowed him to join in. It doesn't always happen this way. It's kind of a feel-good story, and unfortunately it ended kind of abruptly with the colon cancer, but still a guy who contributed fairly largely in over a period of time to their music with his various skills, So there you have it, the two main guys, Bobby Lakind of of Doobie Brothers, and Jeff Piccaro of Toto. So some of the honorable mentions, and I definitely will need my glasses for this because I wrote small and scratchy, which isn't always good when you're trying to read stuff. Okay, Mary Osborne, guitars, and she was a guitar manufacturer as well. Philip Walker from Butterfield Blues Band. Can't even read what I wrote here. Nigel Preston of The Cult, of course. Brian McLeod of Chilliwack and eventually of the Headpins. Stephanie Sargent of the Seven Year Bitch, which is a kind of punk band. Then you have Gerald Nolan of the New York Dolls. This is the second year in a row we have a New York Doll. Dee Murray, Elton John, Alice Cooper, and a bunch of others as well. Primarily started out as Elton John's player. Willie Dixon, blues bassist and songwriter. Laurel Leah, an Australian singer from the 50s. early 60s, I believe. Paul, and I want to say Hackerman, but I can't even read what I wrote here. That's how bad it is. Anyways, Paul Hackerman. Herb Kenny of the Ink Spots, brother of Bill Kenny Jr., who I did as my primary guy a ways back. Tony Williams of the Platters, of course. Timmy Nabby, also of the Ink Spots, so two of them in 1 year. Roger Miller, yeah, we all know who that is. Anyways, he was a songwriter and a singer as well. Ronnie Bonds of the Trogs. And last but not least, Eddie, I think it's Eddie Hazel of, boy, I really cannot read. Oh, the Funkadelics, that's right. I remember who it is. Eddie Hazel of the Funkadelics, I remember now. So I wanted to give mention to some various people in different genres who contributed something to the rock genre. I didn't put everybody in. There's a lot more people. This was one of the biggest years for people passing away, and so I kind of tried to spread it out a little bit with a little bit more well-known people so that people would have some kind of familiarity with what was happening here. Anyways, the two I chose, the main two guys, Jeff Piccaro, I think you had to choose him because Toto was maybe the biggest artist that had somebody pass on them this year. And Bobby Lakind, Bobby Lakind, who basically was a roadie, worked his way into a position as a session musician, then eventually got accepted into the Doobie Brothers. Pretty good working formula for him. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's video, tomorrow morning's video, which will come out at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, Monday morning, Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe, as all these things you do help me, encourage me to do more, and give me opportunities to do more as well. So again, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything or any comments about any of the stuff I said, please leave your comments below. And we'll be back with another episode on Wednesday. We also have tomorrow night's Monday night look back, which is going to feature the second part of my April month-long prog rock album look backs. And tomorrow will feature the number 2 group for me, which is Yes and their Tornado album. And then Wednesday we have the second part of a 3-part series on favorite prog songs. Tomorrow will be the longs, songs that are from 6 minutes till about 14 minutes long. And this is the second of a 3-parter. And then we have a live, Friday Night Live. I still haven't chosen whether to do an album or do a concert review. But I kind of like that show to kind of hit me. The other shows I like to plan, but this one I kind of like to watch certain stuff, and when something really comes to me, then that's when I want to do it, So I kind of had that feeling last week when I did Jethro Tull. I'd actually seen that video like maybe 50 times, but I was watching it and I said, you know what, I got to do this video for Jethro Tull because it's such a great concert and they're such a great band. Okay. And then we, of course, will be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll be doing more episodes of this series that we're doing. And we'll start the back half now on Wednesday, which will be episode 30 from 1993. So I hope you're able to tune in for all this week. A couple of other things may be coming up. I may do a special kind of recent album history on an album that I've been thinking about. And I may actually do a live stream, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I have a little more time this weekend, extra day off, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. As I get closer, I'll know for sure, and I will let people know when the stream will be. It's likely it'll be on a Saturday afternoon, around noon, Eastern Standard Time, of course. So I will let you know all that when the time comes. So I hope like I said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and it's been fun doing it. And have a great evening. This is Prog Monster saying goodnight. Bye.